You're about to spend $3,000, $5,000, maybe even $20,000 on something you've probably never bought before. And the single biggest mistake you can make happens right at the beginning, before you ever even pick up the phone or type a single word into a search bar. Get this first step wrong and you could end up stranded on the side of a highway, with 50 angry people looking at you, wondering why the bus that was supposed to take them to the championship game just broke down. Or worse, picture this. It's the biggest day of your life. Your wedding. You've spent a year planning every detail. You chartered a beautiful 56-passenger luxury motorcoach to shuttle all of your guests from the hotel to your stunning remote venue. The ceremony is at 4 p.m. It's now 3:45, and your phone starts blowing up. The bus never showed up. You call the company in a panic and they say, "Oh, we don't have a record of your booking." It turns out you paid a deposit to a phantom company, a slick-looking website with a fake phone number, and your money is gone. And so are your guests. This isn't a scare tactic. This happens every single week in the United States. The charter bus industry can feel like the Wild West. It's a world of hidden fees, confusing contracts, and a massive difference between what you see online and what actually rolls up to your curb. You're trying to plan a corporate retreat, a school field trip, a family reunion, or a trip to a concert with your friends, and you're navigating a minefield. The problem is, you don't know what you don't know. And that lack of knowledge is what costs people a fortune and turns dream trips into absolute nightmares. But that's all about to change. This is the definitive guide to chartering a bus in the USA. By the time this is over, you will know more than 99% of people about how this industry actually works. You will have a step-by-step playbook to confidently book the right vehicle from the right company at a fair price. We will pull back the curtain on every secret, every trick, and every red flag. We'll show you how to spot a bad operator from a mile away, how to decode a quote to find the hidden charges, and how to ensure the bus that shows up is safe, clean, and exactly what you paid for. This guide will save you time, it will save you stress, and it will almost certainly save you hundreds if not thousands of dollars. And a quick but important heads up before we dive in. The transportation world changes fast. The pricing, regulations, and company details we discuss are based on extensive research at the time we made this presentation. You should always verify current information and get quotes directly from providers. Think of this video as your expert playbook, your insider strategy guide, not as a fixed price list. So where do we start? We start with the single most important step, the one everyone rushes past because they're so eager to get a price. And that is defining your trip with military precision. This sounds simple, but this is the foundation of your entire transaction. If your foundation is cracked, the whole thing will collapse. Getting a vague quote for a bus for a day is like asking a realtor, "How much is a house?" It's a meaningless question. To get an accurate, comparable quote that you can use to judge different companies, you need to have 4 key pieces of information locked down. First, your passenger count. And I mean your exact passenger count plus a little wiggle room. Don't just say about 40 people. Is it 38? Is it 42? This is critical because it determines the size of the vehicle you need. A 47-passenger bus might be significantly cheaper per hour than a 56-passenger bus. If you only have 38 people, booking that bigger bus is like setting money on fire. Conversely, if you book a 40-passenger bus and 42 people show up, you are in a world of hurt. The driver, by law, cannot take more passengers than there are seats. You will be leaving 2 people behind. So get a firm head count. If you're still gathering RSVPs, use your highest, most realistic estimate. You can often downsize your vehicle closer to the date, but upsizing at the last minute can be impossible, especially during peak season. Second, your itinerary. This is the soul of your quote. You need to write it out hour by hour. Where is the first pickup location with the full street address? What time? Where is the first destination? How long will the group be there? Is there a second stop? A third? What time is the final drop-off? A bus company doesn't just charge for when the wheels are moving. They charge for the driver's total time, from the moment they leave their garage, what's called garage out, to the moment they return, garage in. A 10-hour day for you might be a 12-hour day for the driver, and that's what you're paying for. Is your trip a simple one-way transfer like to the airport? Is it a round trip where the bus drops you off and comes back hours later? Or is it a multi-day trip? For multi-day trips, you are also responsible for the driver's hotel room, and usually a daily per diem for their meals. If you don't factor that in, you're going to get a surprise bill. Be hyper-specific. The more detailed your itinerary, the the more accurate your quote will be, and the less room there is for a company to hit you with overage charges later. Third, your luggage and equipment needs. This is the detail that bites so many people. A standard 56-passenger motorcoach has massive storage bays underneath, perfect for suitcases on an airport run or band equipment for a school competition. But what if you book a minibus for 25 people? Some of them have a decent rear luggage area. Others have virtually none. If your 25 passengers all show up with a large suitcase and a carry-on, you're not going to fit. You need to explicitly state your luggage requirements. We have 25 people, each with one large checked bag and one personal item. Or, we are a ski club with 30 members, and we'll have 30 sets of skis and boots. This information allows the company to match you with the right vehicle. Not just one that has enough seats, but one that has enough space. Don't ever assume. Always specify. And fourth, your special requirements. This is anything and everything beyond just seats and wheels. Do you need a bus that is ADA accessible with a wheelchair lift? This is a legal requirement you have to request up front. Not every bus in a fleet will have one, and they need to assign it specifically to your trip. Do you absolutely need Wi-Fi and power outlets for a long corporate trip so your team can work? You have to ask. Some older buses don't have them. Do you want to drink alcohol on the bus? Most companies allow it, but often require an additional, refundable security deposit. Are you transporting minors? There might be specific company or even state rules about that. Every single one of these special needs must be communicated up front, during the quoting phase. Adding them later can change the price or may not even be possible. Passenger count, itinerary, luggage, special requirements. These are your 4 pillars. Before you even think about searching for charter bus near me, you need to have these 4 things typed out in a clear, concise document. This document is now your weapon. It's your source of truth. You will send this exact same set of specifications to every single company you contact. This ensures you are getting a true apples-to-apples comparison. You're not getting one quote based on an 8-hour day and another based on 10 hours. You're controlling the variables. You are taking the power back from the salespeople and putting it in your own hands. Now that you have your trip defined with this level of precision, you're ready to step into the arena and actually request a quote. But who do you ask? Do you call the first company that pops up on Google? Do you fill out a form on a big national booking website? This leads us to the single biggest structural secret of the charter bus industry: the difference between a broker and an operator. Understanding this difference is the key to not overpaying by 30% for the exact same bus, and it's the topic that can save you the most money out of everything we will discuss. And that is exactly what we are exposing next. So let's pull back the curtain. In the entire charter bus industry, there are only 2 types of companies you can give your money to. The first is an operator. The second is a broker. On the surface, they can look identical. They both have websites with pictures of beautiful, shiny buses. They both give you quotes for your trip. But underneath the hood, they are fundamentally different businesses, and that difference is what's costing you a fortune. An operator is the real deal. This is the company that actually owns the buses. They have a physical garage, they employ the drivers, they pay for the multi-million-dollar insurance policies, they have mechanics on staff, and they hold the license from the Department of Transportation to physically operate a commercial motor vehicle. Think of an operator like a farmer who actually grows the apples. They own the land, they plant the trees, they are the ones who actually pick the fruit. They are the source. When you deal with an operator, you are dealing directly with the company that will be providing your service. A broker, on the other hand, owns nothing. Let me say that again. They own 0 buses. They have no drivers, no garage, no mechanics, no insurance. Nothing. They are a middleman. A sales and marketing company. Often nothing more than a call center with a slick website. They are experts at one thing: getting their company to the top of Google when you search for charter bus rental. Think of the broker as the fancy high-end grocery store in the city. They don't grow any apples. They just buy the apples from the farmer, put them in a nice-looking basket, mark up the price by 20, 30, sometimes even 40%, and then sell them to you. It is the exact same apple from the exact same farm, but you are paying a massive premium for their marketing and their position as the go-between. So how does this actually work in practice? Let's say you need a bus for a wedding. You go to Google and type in 50-passenger bus for wedding. The top results will almost always be brokers. They spend millions on advertising to make sure they are the first thing you see. Their website looks incredible. It has pictures of brand new buses in every major city. promising a seamless, nationwide service. You're impressed, so you fill out their quote request form. The moment you hit submit, your trip details are not going to a dispatcher in a bus yard. Instead, they are being entered into a software program that automatically blasts your request out to 100 different actual operators in their network. The real bus companies in your area then get an email. They see your trip and they bid on it. One company might bid $2,000, another $1,900, a third maybe $1,850. The broker's software sees that the lowest bid is $1,850. It then automatically adds its commission. Let's say it's 30%. That's an extra $555. The broker then sends you a professional-looking quote for $2,405. You, the customer, think you're getting a quote from a major national bus company. But in reality, you're just looking at a marked-up price from a local company you could have called yourself. You are paying over $500 for someone to send an email. Now, to be fair, brokers aren't all bad. They do serve a purpose. If you're planning a massive 10-city corporate tour and need dozens of buses coordinated across the country, a good broker can be a lifesaver. They do the logistical legwork. They also offer convenience. You fill out one form and get a price, instead of calling 5 different local companies. But for over 95% of trips, the weddings, the school field trips, the church outings, the trips to the big game, you are just lighting money on fire by using a broker. Let's talk about the real-world consequences beyond just the price. The first major issue is the lack of control. When you book with a broker, you often have no idea which actual bus company, which operator, they are going to hire for your trip until after you've already paid a deposit. They are choosing for you, and their primary motivation is to choose the operator who gave them the lowest bid so they can maximize their own profit. This might not be the operator with the best safety record, the newest buses, or the most professional drivers. You're giving up your right to choose the quality of the company you're trusting with your group's safety. The second, and arguably more critical issue, is the communication breakdown. Imagine it's the day of your wedding. The bus is 15 minutes late. Your guests are waiting. You start to panic. You call the 1-800 number for the broker you booked with. You get a call center agent, maybe in a different state or even a different country. You frantically explain the situation. That agent then has to put you on hold, look up your reservation, find out which local operator they assigned your trip to, and then call that company's dispatcher. The dispatcher then has to radio the driver. The driver explains they're stuck in traffic. The driver tells the dispatcher, who tells the broker's call center agent, who then finally calls you back to tell you the bus is 10 minutes away. This entire game of telephone can take 20 agonizing minutes. Had you booked directly with the operator, you would have had one number to call. You'd speak directly to the dispatcher, who is looking at the same GPS screen as the driver, and you'd get an instant, real-time answer. When things go wrong, that direct line of communication is priceless. So, the benefits of booking directly with an operator are massive. First, the price. You cut out the middleman and their 20 to 40% markup, instantly saving hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Second, transparency. You know exactly who you are hiring. You can look up their specific company name, read their Google reviews, and most importantly, check their safety rating directly with the federal government. Third, communication and accountability. You have a direct line to the people responsible for your trip. Their name and their reputation are on the line, not some faceless national brand. The big question is, how can you tell the difference? How do you spot a broker and find a real operator? It's actually easier than you think. And here are the secret signs the brokers don't want you to know. First is the website test. A broker's website is often very slick, with lots of stock photos of perfect-looking buses and smiling people. But it will be vague. It'll talk about a nationwide network and access to thousands of vehicles. An operator's website is usually more grounded. It might be less polished, but you should look for an About Us page with pictures of their actual team, their family history, or their physical location. If you see real people and a real story, you're likely on the right track. Second, the address test. This one is a dead giveaway. Scroll down to the bottom of the company's website and look for a physical address. Copy it and paste it into Google Maps. What do you see? If you see an industrial park with a large yard full of buses, you found a real operator. Congratulations! If you see a skyscraper in a downtown business district, a virtual office, a P.O. box, or a residential house, you have found a broker. A bus company needs a place to park its buses, and it's not on the 34th floor of an office building. Third, and this is the ultimate test, is the phone call test. Call the number on the website and ask this one simple, devastating question. I'm in the area. and I was wondering if I could stop by this afternoon to see the bus before I book it? The reaction to this question will tell you everything you need to know. A true operator will say something like, "Sure, the 56 passenger is out on a trip right now, but it'll be back around 3 p.m. if you want to swing by then." They have buses and they're proud to show them to you. A broker will completely fall apart. They will stammer and make excuses. You'll hear things like, "Oh well, our buses are kept at various dispatch locations for efficiency," or "For insurance reasons, we can't have customers in the yard." They will say anything to avoid answering because they have no bus to show you. It's in a different company's garage across town. This single question cuts through all the marketing and exposes them instantly. So, the mission is clear: to get the best price, the best service, and the most control, you need to find and book directly with a local operator. The problem is, these family-owned operators often don't have the massive advertising budgets of the national brokers. They can get buried on page 3 or 4 of Google search results, making them hard to find. So, how do you cut through all that noise? How do you use Google like a pro to find these hidden gem operators in your specific city, bypassing the brokers who are paying to be at the top? I'm going to show you a few simple free search hacks that the brokers absolutely do not want you to know. These tricks will put the best local companies right at the top of your screen, and that is exactly what we are diving into next. Alright, let's pull back the curtain. The first and most common mistake everyone makes is typing charter bus rental or bus rental near me into Google. It seems logical, right? But doing that is like walking into Times Square and asking for the quietest, most authentic local restaurant. You're going to get the biggest, loudest, and most expensive tourist traps because they're the ones paying a fortune to be right in your face. In the world of search, that means you're getting the national brokers who spend millions on ads and search engine optimization to dominate those exact phrases. Our mission is to bypass them entirely. We need to speak a different language to the search engine, a language that only the real local bus operators understand. So let's start with hack number 1. We'll call this the geographic pinpoint. Instead of near me, which relies on your phone's vague location data, get hyper-specific. Are you planning a trip from a specific suburb? Use that suburb's name. Let's say you're organizing a church trip from Naperville, Illinois, a suburb of Chicago. Don't search for Charter Bus Chicago. You'll get a flood of brokers targeting the entire metro area. Instead, search for Charter Bus Naperville, Illinois. Or even better, try the county. Motorcoach Rental DuPage County. Why does this work? Because a true local company, a family-owned business with a bus yard just a few towns over, will have their actual address and service area listed all over their website. They'll talk about serving Naperville, Aurora, and Bolingbrook. The national broker, on the other hand, has a generic landing page for Chicago that might not mention the specific suburbs. By getting geographically precise, you're sending a signal to Google that you want a genuinely local result, not a massive national clearinghouse. You're essentially telling the algorithm, show me the business that actually parks its buses here, not the one with a call center in Florida. That's a great first step, but we can do much better. Let's move on to hack number 2, the magic word. In the charter bus industry, the companies that own and operate their own vehicles call themselves operators. This is insider terminology. The brokers and marketplaces, they almost never use that word to describe themselves. They call themselves booking platforms, marketplaces, or rental services. The word operator is our secret key. Watch what happens when we add it to our search. Instead of Charter Bus Naperville, we now search for Motorcoach Operator Naperville, Illinois. The difference is staggering. Suddenly, the search results start to look different. The flashy generic get a quote in 10 seconds. Websites start to fade away, and you begin to see the names of actual local companies. You might see Smith Family Coach Lines or Windy City Transit. These sound like real businesses because they are. They are the operators. This single word filters out a huge percentage of the middlemen who are trying to get between you and the bus company. It's like using a special password to get into a private club, and the brokers aren't on the list. Now we're going to combine this with hack number 3, and this is where we go from amateur to pro. This is the negative keyword annihilator. Most people don't know this, but you can tell Google what you don't want to see. You do this by using a simple minus sign right before a word. Think about the words the brokers use. Words like marketplace, network, platform, nationwide, quote. We want to eliminate them from our search entirely. We are going to perform digital surgery on our search results. So let's build our ultimate power search. We're going to take our magic word and our geographic pinpoint, and we're going to add our negative keywords. The search query now looks like this. Motorcoach operator Naperville, Illinois. Broker marketplace network nationwide. Let's break that down. We're telling Google, show me a motorcoach operator. Their business must be specifically relevant to Naperville, Illinois. And under no circumstances should you show me a result that includes the words broker, marketplace, network, or nationwide. What you are left with is a highly purified top-tier list of the actual local companies that own and maintain their own buses in your area. You have just used a few simple keystrokes to bypass a multi-million-dollar advertising wall. You've filtered out the noise and are now looking at the signal. This is the list you want. This is your starting point. But what if you want to be even more of a detective? What if you want to find the hidden gems that might not even have a great website or a big marketing budget? There's another way, a method that doesn't even primarily use the Google search bar. We're going to use Google Maps. Pull up Google Maps and zoom in on your starting area. Let's stick with our Naperville example. Now, instead of searching for a business name, just search for the term bus depot or bus yard. Pan around the map. Look at the satellite view. You are now conducting digital reconnaissance. You're looking for industrial areas, large lots with long rectangular buildings. And what you're hoping to see is a parking lot filled with, you guessed it, buses. Big, beautiful motor coaches lined up in neat rows. When you see that, you've struck gold. You have visually confirmed the physical location of an operator. Click on that spot on the map. Often the business name will pop right up. It might be a name you've never heard of, one that didn't appear on the first 5 pages of a standard search. Why? Because maybe their specialty is corporate contracts, or they have a terrible website from 1998, but they have immaculate, brand new buses and the best drivers in the state. You would have never found them otherwise. This Google Maps technique is how you find the companies that are so busy providing great service that they haven't had time to hire an SEO guru. You're finding the source. Okay, so now you've used our power search and our Google Maps trick. You have a list of what looks like 5 or 6 amazing, truly local companies. You're feeling great. But there's one final critical check you must perform before you even think about picking up the phone or sending an email. This is the step that separates a safe, successful trip from a potential disaster. On the website of every legitimate bus operator in the United States, you should be able to find their USDOT number. That stands for United States Department of Transportation. This number is their federal license to operate. It's like a doctor's medical license or a lawyer's bar number. It proves they are a real, registered, and regulated transportation company. Usually you can find this number in small print at the very bottom of their homepage, on their About Us page, or on their safety page. It will be preceded by USDOT hashtag. If you cannot find this number anywhere on their website, that is a massive red flag. Could mean they aren't a legitimate operator, or that they are a broker trying to look like one. A real operator is proud of their DOT number, and will display it. Finding this number is non-negotiable. It's your first layer of protection. It's the key that unlocks our ability to check their safety record, their insurance status, and their fleet information. All things we absolutely need to do before we sign a contract. So to recap, you've bypassed the brokers using the geographic pinpoint, the magic word operator, and the negative keyword annihilator. You've gone even deeper, using Google Maps to find the hidden depots. And now, you've started your vetting process by confirming that each company on your list has a USDOT number. You now have a golden list. A list of legitimate local bus companies that the average person would never find. You've beaten the system. But this is where the real work begins. Because on your list of 5 companies, 2 of them might have an outstanding safety record, 1 might have ancient buses, another might have terrible customer reviews, and the last one might be perfect but is already booked for your date. How do you tell the difference? How do you take that all-important USDOT number and use it to look up a company's safety rating directly from the government? How do you read between the lines of online reviews to spot the fake ones? And what are the exact questions you need to ask when you finally make that first phone call to ensure you're getting a great vehicle and not a lemon? That is the art of vetting, and it is the most important step in this entire process. And that's exactly where we're going next. Alright, you've done the research, you've shortlisted your companies, and now it's time to pick up the phone. This is the moment of truth. This is where you separate the professional operators from the fly-by-night outfits that will leave you stranded on the side of I-80. Your goal here isn't just to get a price. Your goal is to conduct a masterclass in vetting. You're about to ask a series of questions that will instantly tell the person on the other end of the line that you are not a rookie. You are a serious customer who values safety and quality above all else. Let's start with the single most important question you can ask. If you only ask one thing from this entire video, make it this one. The question is, can you please provide me with your U.S. Department of Transportation number? Every legitimate interstate charter bus company is required by law to have one. It's their license to operate. If they hesitate, if they say they don't have one, or if they try to give you a different number, hang up the phone. It's that simple. That is a colossal red flag. But assuming they give it to you, your work isn't done. Write that number down. While you're still on the phone with them, go to the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration's website. It's public information. Just search for FMCSA Safer, SAFR. You can look up any company by their DOT number. What you're looking for is their safety rating. There are 3 possibilities: satisfactory, conditional, or unsatisfactory. Satisfactory is what you want. It's a green light. It means they've been inspected and meet the federal standards. Unsatisfactory is a 5-alarm fire. Run. Do not walk, run away from that company. But the tricky one is conditional. A conditional rating means they've been found with some violations. Maybe it's a paperwork issue. Maybe it's something more serious with their vehicles or driver logs. A company with a conditional rating will tell you, "Oh, it's just a minor thing, we're fixing it." Don't take their word for it. In a market full of companies with pristine satisfactory ratings, why would you take a chance on one that's already on the government's watch list? Your group's safety is not the place to compromise. Okay, they passed the DOT test. Fantastic. The next question is about protection. You need to ask, what is your liability insurance coverage? And can you provide a certificate of insurance with my organization listed as an additional insured? Let's break that down. Federal law mandates that interstate buses carry a minimum of $5 million in liability insurance. Every reputable company will have this, and they should be able to tell you that number without blinking. If they say a lower number, or if they sound unsure, it's another red flag. But the second part of that question is the pro move. Asking for a certificate of insurance or a COI is you saying, "Show me the proof." Furthermore, asking to be listed as additional insured is a standard practice for corporate or school trips, and it extends their liability coverage to protect your organization directly. A professional company will say, "Absolutely, we do that all the time. Just send us the legal name and address." A sketchy company might get weird about it, make excuses, or even try to charge you extra for it. That tells you everything you need to know about their professionalism. You've now established that the company is legal and insured. You've filtered out 90% of the potential disasters. Now we can start talking about the actual bus. The temptation is to ask, how much is the bus? But a better question is, can you tell me about the age and model of the specific vehicle you would assign to my trip? Notice the word specific. Many companies have a mixed fleet. They have beautiful, brand new coaches they show on their website, and they have 15-year-old workhorses they actually send out on the road. There's nothing inherently wrong with an older bus if it's been impeccably maintained. But you have a right to know what you're paying for. A good company will be transparent. They'll say, for your trip, we're likely to assign a 2019 Van Hool, or something comparable. A bad answer is, oh, all our buses are great. That's a non-answer. Push them on it. Ask, what's the average age of your fleet? If the average age is over 10 or 12 years, you need to be much more critical about their maintenance. This leads directly to the next question. What amenities are guaranteed on the bus? Not what amenities do you have, but what is guaranteed to be on my bus and in working order? Everyone promises Wi-Fi, power outlets, and DVD players. But how many times have you been on a bus where the Wi-Fi is slower than dial-up, and half the outlets don't work? By asking for a guarantee, you're setting an expectation. Get it in writing in the contract. If they guarantee working Wi-Fi and it doesn't work for the entire trip, you now have leverage for a partial refund. It's about accountability. Now let's talk about the single most important person on your trip, the driver. The quality of your driver will make or break your entire experience. You could be on a billion-dollar bus, but if the driver is grumpy, unprofessional, or unsafe, the trip is ruined. So you ask, are your drivers full-time W-2 employees, or are they 1099 independent contractors? This might seem like a weird inside baseball question, but it's incredibly revealing. Companies that hire full-time employees invest in them. They provide regular training, benefits, and have a consistent standard of service. Companies that rely heavily on contractors are often just filling a seat. The quality can be a total crapshoot. You might get a fantastic seasoned pro, or you might get a guy who just started last week and doesn't know the area. A company proud of its drivers will be happy to tell you they're full-time employees. Next, you signal that you understand the rules of the road. You ask, how does your company manage and log your driver's hours of service? Federal law is extremely strict about how long a driver can be on duty. Typically no more than 10 hours of driving within a 15-hour on-duty window before they require a significant break. You're not trying to become an expert in federal regulations. You're trying to see if they are. A professional dispatcher will say, we use electronic logging devices on all our buses, and we will build the driver's mandatory rest time into your itinerary. That's the A+ answer. It tells you they prioritize safety over squeezing every last minute out of a trip. If they sound vague or say, oh, the driver will figure it out, that's a sign they might be encouraging their drivers to bend the rules, which puts your group at risk. Finally, a practical question about the driver. Is the driver's gratuity included in the quote? Some companies automatically add a 10 or 15% gratuity. Others leave it up to you. And some will say it's customary, but won't include it, leaving you to awkwardly collect cash from your group at the end of the trip. Knowing this upfront prevents any surprises and helps you budget accurately. There's no right or wrong answer here, you just need to know what their policy is. You've vetted the company's legitimacy, their insurance, the bus, and the driver. The last piece of the puzzle is vetting their policies and their customer service. This is about what happens when things go wrong. So you ask the big one. What is your operational plan in the event of a mechanical breakdown? Listen very carefully to the answer. A small one-bus company might say, we'll call a tow truck. That's not a plan. That's a disaster that leaves your group stranded for hours. A great, national-level company will say, we have a 24/7 dispatch team and a network of affiliate operators and maintenance facilities across the country. We would dispatch a replacement bus to you immediately, typically within 2 to 3 hours. The quality of their answer to this question is a direct reflection of the quality of their entire operation. You are now armed with an arsenal of questions that will completely change the way you charter a bus. You are no longer just a price shopper. You are an informed, safety-conscious consumer who demands professionalism. By asking these questions, you're not being difficult. You're being responsible. And any good company will respect you for it. They'll recognize that you're their ideal customer. The ones who get defensive, the ones who give you vague answers, they're the ones you just saved yourself from. You've successfully navigated the interrogation. You've found a company that sounds solid on the phone. They've given you all the right answers. They're ready to send you the official quote and the contract to sign. But this is where the next set of traps are hidden. The price they told you on the phone might not be the price you actually pay. Buried in the fine print of that contract are the hidden fees, the surcharges, and the rigid policies designed to protect them, not you. Before you sign anything, you need to learn how to read a charter contract like a lawyer, spotting every single potential pitfall that could cost you thousands. And dissecting that contract line by painful line is exactly what we're going to do next. Alright, let's pull this contract out from the envelope. It might look like a bunch of boring legal jargon, a formality, something your eyes just glaze over. But I want you to stop thinking of it that way. This document, this isn't a formality. This is the battlefield. This is the rulebook for the entire game you're about to play. And every single sentence is a potential landmine or a get-out-of-jail-free card. The company wrote this contract to protect themselves, not you. Our job is to turn it into a shield that protects you too. First, we attack the basics, what I call the core four. These are the pillars of your entire trip. Date, time, itinerary, and price. Don't just scan them. Scrutinize them. Is the date listed as October 5th? Or is it October 5th? If so, does it specify the year? I've seen contracts where a simple typo on the year caused a bus to be booked for the following year. A nightmare discovered only when the bus never showed up. For the time, is it just 8 o'clock? Or is it 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time? Does it specify departure time or arrival time for boarding? This tiny distinction can mean the difference between a relaxed start and a frantic 30-minute rush to get 50 people on board. If your pickup is at an airport, does it list the flight number and state that the driver will track the flight for delays? If not, you could be paying for waiting time if your flight is late. Next, the itinerary. Pick up at Hotel A, drop off at Venue B, is not an itinerary. That's a guess. A proper itinerary is a line-by-line, address-by-address breakdown of your entire trip. Every single stop with full verifiable addresses. Why? Because that's what your price is based on. If an address is vague, They can later claim the final destination was outside the quoted service area and slap you with an extra fee. Get every stop in writing. If you plan to stop for lunch, have that address in the contract. If you're making a quick photo stop at a landmark, put it in the contract. If it's not in the contract, it doesn't exist. And finally, the price. The big, bold number at the top is the marketing number. The number you need to care about is the total due, and you need to see a full itemized breakdown of how they got there. The base rate, any fuel surcharges, taxes, administrative fees, everything. If you see a vague service fee, you must ask what that service is. This is your first and best chance to challenge a junk fee. Okay, core 4 are locked down. Now we venture into the darkest part of the jungle. The payment and cancellation clauses. This is where 90% of the horror stories are born. First, the payment schedule. A reasonable deposit is standard, typically anywhere from 10% to 50%. But if a company asks for 100% of the payment up front, months in advance, that is a colossal red flag. It screams that they have cash flow problems. A typical schedule is a deposit to reserve the bus, with the final balance due somewhere between 30 days and 14 days before the trip. Never, ever agree to pay the full amount any earlier than 30 days out. Now the cancellation policy. Read this section 3 times. It should be a tiered system. For example, cancel 90 days out, get a full refund. Cancel 60 days out, forfeit your deposit. Cancel 30 days out, you owe 50% of the total. Cancel within 14 days, you owe the full 100%. This is pretty standard. What you need to watch for are the traps. Does it say the deposit is non-refundable under all circumstances? What if they cancel on you? The contract should explicitly state you get a 100% refund if they fail to provide the service. Look for the force majeure or act of God clause. This became incredibly important over the last few years. This clause covers things outside of anyone's control. Hurricanes, floods, government shutdowns, pandemics. A good pro-consumer clause will state that in such an event, you get a full refund or at least a full credit for a future trip. A bad, predatory clause will say that in an act of God, they keep all your money. That is unacceptable. You are not an insurance policy for their business. Next up is the section on additional charges. This is where they bleed you dry with 1,000 paper cuts. Look for these specific keywords. First, driver gratuity. Is it included? Is it suggested? Or is it mandatory and automatically added to the final bill? You need to know this. If it's not mentioned, assume you'll be expected to tip the driver in cash at the end of the trip, usually 15 to 20% of the total cost. Factor that into your budget. Second, tolls and parking. Does the contract state that these are included in the price? If not, you will be paying for them. The company should be able to give you a very close estimate of these costs based on your itinerary. Don't accept a vague customer is responsible for all tolls. Third, overage charges. What happens if your event runs late? The contract must specify the hourly rate for keeping the bus and driver longer than planned. This rate will almost always be higher than your original blended hourly rate, so know what it is. Also, check if it's billed in 15-minute, 30-minute, or full-hour increments. Fourth, cleaning fees. It's reasonable to be charged if someone gets sick on the bus or leaves an excessive mess. But look out for language that allows for a standard cleaning fee to be applied to all charters. That's just a hidden profit center. Your contract should only penalize you for damages or messes beyond normal use. Now let's talk about the driver. There's a whole section of the contract that's secretly about them, and it's for your safety. You need to see a clause about driver hours of service. This will state that the trip will be conducted in compliance with Federal Department of Transportation regulations. This isn't just legal boilerplate. This is the law that prevents a driver from being behind the wheel for 16 hours straight. In a nutshell, a driver can only drive for 10 hours within a 15-hour on-duty window. After that, they legally must have 8 consecutive hours off duty. Why do you care? Because if your dream itinerary requires 12 hours of driving in one day, the contract must state that a second relief driver will be provided, and you need to know the cost for that. Ignoring these rules doesn't make you clever. It makes your bus a danger to everyone on the road. If your trip is overnight, you'll see a clause for driver accommodations. This will state that the customer is responsible for providing the driver with a private, non-smoking hotel room at a safe and reputable hotel. They are not allowed to sleep on the bus. This is non-negotiable. It's a federal safety regulation. Some companies will book the room for you and add it to the bill. Others require you to book it. Just make sure you know which it is. Finally, we scan the fine print for two last critical traps. The subcontracting clause. This is huge. Does the contract give the company the right to subcontract your trip to another bus company without your approval? If you see this, I want you to be very, very wary. You did all your research on Company A. You vetted them, read their reviews. This clause allows them to pass your trip off to some random company Z that could have a terrible safety record, and you wouldn't know until that company's bus shows up. A good contract will state that they will not subcontract without your express written consent. And the last thing to check for is any verbal promises. Did the salesperson promise you a bus with Wi-Fi? Did they say you could bring a cooler with drinks? Did they promise you their newest, most luxurious bus? If it is not written into the final contract you sign, it was a lie. It's that simple. If they promised you something, tell them to add it as an addendum or a rider to the contract. If they hesitate, you know they were just telling you what you wanted to hear. The contract is your power. Reading it, understanding it, and questioning it is how you take control of the process. It transforms you from a hopeful customer into a prepared client. Once you sign that document, it becomes the absolute truth. So make sure it's a truth you can live with. Now that you've become a master negotiator and can dissect a contract like a high-priced lawyer, there's still one massive, physical variable we haven't talked about: the bus itself. How do you guarantee you're not getting a 25-year-old rust bucket with questionable brakes and worn-out seats? How do you inspect the fleet? And what are the secret red flags to look for that even the bus companies hope you never notice? Let's pull back the curtain. The first rule of bus inspection is simple. Never, ever trust the glamour shots on the company's website. Those photos could be a decade old, taken the day the bus rolled off the assembly line. What you need is proof of life, a real-time snapshot of the vehicle you might actually be riding in. And you can get it even from hundreds of miles away. This is your virtual inspection. When you're on the phone with a sales rep, don't just ask, "Are your buses new?" They'll say yes. Instead, you need to be specific, almost like a lawyer questioning a witness. Ask them to send you a current timestamp video walkthrough of the exact bus, or a similar one from the same fleet that would be assigned to your trip. Not a marketing video. A raw, unedited video from someone's phone. Tell them you want to see the seats, the floor, the bathroom, and a close-up of the dashboard with the vehicle turned on. If they hesitate, if they make excuses like, "Our buses are all out on the road," or "We can't do that for security reasons," that's a massive red flag. A reputable company with a well-maintained fleet will be proud to show it off. They'll see your request as a sign of a serious customer. A company with something to hide will see it as a threat. But photos and videos are just the beginning. They show you the cosmetic condition. We need to go deeper. We need to check the bus's permanent record. Every single commercial vehicle operating in the United States has a Department of Transportation, or DOT number. It's usually printed on the side of the bus. This number is not just for decoration. It is the key to unlocking the entire company's safety history. Write this down. Go to the FMCSA SAFER website. That stands for the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration's Safety and Fitness Electronic Records System. It's a government database and it's public. You can type in a company's DOT number or even just their name, and it will pull up a report that is more honest than any salesman you'll ever speak to. What are you looking for? First, check their safety rating. It will say one of three things: satisfactory, conditional, or unsatisfactory. If it says anything other than satisfactory, you hang up the phone and you run. A conditional rating means the company has been caught with serious violations. An unsatisfactory rating means they are on the verge of being shut down. You do not want your group on that bus. Next, look at their out-of-service or OOS rate. This is the percentage of times their vehicles or drivers have been inspected on the roadside and immediately been declared unsafe to continue. The national average hovers around 20% for vehicles and about 5% for drivers. If the company you're looking at has numbers significantly higher than that, it tells you they have a pattern of cutting corners on maintenance and driver safety. Finally, look at their crash record. The database will show you the number of reported crashes, including those with injuries or fatalities, over the last 24 months. Now, a large company with hundreds of buses will naturally have more incidents than a small local operator. But what you're looking for are patterns. A high number of crashes, especially those involving injuries, is a clear signal to stay away. This 5-minute check on the SAFER database is the single most powerful tool you have. It cuts through all the marketing fluff and gives you the cold, hard facts. Now, let's say the company passes the virtual test. Their safer report is clean, and they sent you a great video. If you're local, or if the trip is important enough, it is always worth scheduling an in-person visit to their depot. This is where you put on your detective hat. When you arrive, the first thing to do is just look around. Is the yard clean and organized? Or is it a chaotic mess of old parts, weeds, and buses in various states of disrepair? The state of their property reflects the state of their business. Let's talk about the exterior of the bus. Walk around it. Don't just glance. Look for ripples or waves in the large side panels. This can be a sign of a poorly repaired past accident. Check the seams and the edges around the wheel wells and luggage doors for bubbling paint, which is a telltale sign of rust underneath. Rust is like cancer for a bus. It compromises structural integrity. Then crouch down and look at the tires. All of them. Are they from a reputable brand you recognize like Michelin or Bridgestone, or are they a cheap, no-name import? Are they all the same brand? Or is it a mismatched collection? Mismatched tires can affect handling and braking. Most importantly, check the tread. You can use a penny. Stick it in the tread with Lincoln's head upside down. If you can see the top of his head, the tire is worn out and unsafe. Also, look for uneven wear patterns like one side of the tire being more worn than the other. This indicates an alignment problem, which affects safety and can cause blowouts. Now let's move to the inside. The first thing that hits you when the door opens is the smell. It should smell clean or like nothing at all. If it smells like mildew, stale smoke, or an overwhelming amount of air freshener, they're masking a problem. Walk down the aisle. Don't just look at the seats. Sit in a few of them. Are they broken? Do they recline properly? Is the upholstery torn or stained? Look up. Do the overhead lights and air conditioning vents work? On a long trip, a broken AC vent over your seat is torture. If the bus has outlets or USB ports, bring a phone charger and test a few of them. These are the small details that separate a premium experience from a miserable one. And absolutely check the bathroom. Is it clean? Does the door lock properly? Is it stocked? But the most important part of your in-person inspection involves something most people never ask to see: the maintenance logs. A professional, safety-conscious company will have a detailed maintenance record for every single bus in their fleet. They will track every oil change, every brake job, every tire rotation. Ask to see the records for the bus you might be chartering. If they proudly bring out a thick, organized binder or show you a detailed computer log, that's an incredible sign. It shows a culture of safety and preventative maintenance. If they get defensive, if they say the records are proprietary, or at another location, walk away. They are hiding something. Finally, let's address the big question: the age of the bus. How old is too old? There's no single magic number, because a 10-year-old impeccably maintained Prevost or MCI motorcoach is infinitely safer and more comfortable than a 3-year-old, cheaply made bus that's been run into the ground. However, as a general rule for a major trip, you should be wary of any bus that's more than 15 years old. The technology, safety features, and emission standards have improved dramatically. You can find the manufacturing date on a metal plate, usually located on the wall by the driver's seat or inside the main door. But remember, the maintenance log is the bus's real birth certificate and report card, all in one. So you've done it. You've vetted the company's safety record online. You've inspected the vehicle from the tires to the ceiling. You found the perfect bus. It's clean, it's safe, it's modern. But the single most important safety feature of any charter bus isn't the brakes or the airbags. It's the person sitting in the driver's seat. And the stories we've found about unqualified, overworked, and dangerous drivers will terrify you. How do you vet the one person you're trusting with everyone's lives? That's what's next. The person holding the steering wheel is the single most critical safety system on any bus. And when that system fails, the consequences are catastrophic. On March 2, 2007, a charter bus carrying the Bluffton University baseball team was traveling through Atlanta. The driver, on a high-occupancy vehicle ramp, mistook it for a regular lane. He swerved trying to correct, but it was too late. The bus smashed through a barrier and plunged 30 feet onto the interstate below. 7 people died, including the driver and his wife. The NTSB investigation found no issues with the bus itself, no mechanical failures. The cause was driver error, a simple fatal mistake. This is the nightmare scenario. It's why vetting the driver isn't just a box to check. It's the most important thing you will do. The problem is, you can't just interview the driver yourself. You're relying on the charter company to do its job. But in an industry facing a massive driver shortage, The temptation for some companies to cut corners, to hire someone with a spotty record, or to push a driver past their legal limits is dangerously high. So you have to become the enforcer. You have to ask the right questions and you have to demand the right answers. Let's start with the absolute, non-negotiable basics. The license. A bus driver can't just have a regular driver's license. They need a commercial driver's license or CDL. But not just any CDL. For a bus, they need what's called a passenger, or P endorsement. This means they've passed specific written and skills tests demonstrating they know how to handle a vehicle full of people, how to manage passengers, conduct pre-trip inspections on safety equipment, and handle emergency situations unique to buses. You also need to be aware of certain restrictions. For example, an L restriction means they can't operate a vehicle with full air brakes, which is what virtually every large motorcoach has. A driver with an L restriction on their license is not qualified to drive your coach. So your first question to the company must be, can you guarantee the assigned driver will hold a valid CDL with the appropriate class and a P endorsement, free of any disqualifying restrictions for the vehicle we are chartering? Don't just ask if they have a CDL. Be specific. The details matter. Next, every single commercial driver is required by federal law to have a valid DOT medical certificate. This isn't just a note from their family doctor. This is a specific physical examination performed by a certified medical examiner who is listed on a national registry. This exam screens for conditions that could make it unsafe to operate a massive vehicle, like uncontrolled high blood pressure, vision or hearing problems, epilepsy, or certain heart conditions. This certificate is typically valid for 2 years. A driver without a current medical card is driving illegally. Period. You must ask the company to confirm that the driver has a valid, current DOT medical certificate. If they hesitate or can't confirm, that is a gigantic red flag. Now let's talk about their past. Even with the right license and a clean bill of health, a driver's history on the road tells a crucial story. This story is contained in their motor vehicle record, or MVR. This is their official driving history, listing any and all traffic violations, accidents, and license suspensions. You as the customer can't pull this record yourself. But the bus company can, and they absolutely should be, as part of their hiring and recurrent training process. What are they looking for? Any DUIs or DWIs are an absolute deal breaker. A pattern of speeding tickets, reckless driving citations, or multiple at-fault accidents indicates a driver who is a liability waiting to happen. You need to ask the company, do you run MVR checks on all your drivers? And can you confirm that the driver assigned to our trip has a clean record, free of major violations? A reputable company will answer yes, absolutely, without a moment's hesitation. They should be proud of their clean record drivers. Beyond traffic violations, there's an even more insidious threat: substance abuse. The Department of Transportation has a strict, mandatory drug and alcohol testing program for all safety-sensitive employees, which includes bus drivers. This isn't optional. It requires pre-employment drug screening, and more importantly, it requires companies to be part of a random testing pool. This means that at any time without notice, a driver can be selected for a random drug or alcohol test. This is one of the most effective deterrents we have. A company that isn't part of a DOT-compliant random testing program is breaking the law and putting you at extreme risk. This is another non-negotiable question for your checklist. Is your company enrolled in a federally mandated random drug and alcohol testing program? The answer must be yes. But perhaps the most common and most overlooked danger is driver fatigue. A tired driver can be just as impaired as a drunk driver. To combat this, the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration has established strict hours of service regulations. These rules are not suggestions. They are the law. And you need to understand the basics, because your itinerary could be forcing a company to break them. Here's what you need to know. A driver can only drive for a maximum of 10 hours after having 8 consecutive hours off duty. And they cannot drive after being on duty for 15 hours. On-duty time includes not just driving, but also inspections, waiting for passengers, and any other work-related activity. After hitting that 15-hour on-duty limit, they must have 8 consecutive hours off. Let's make this real. Imagine your group wants to go to an amusement park. You plan to leave at 7 a.m. The drive is 4 hours. You'll spend 8 hours at the park, from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Then you'll drive 4 hours home, getting back at 11 p.m. Sounds like a normal day, right? Let's do the math from the driver's perspective. They drive for 4 hours. They are on duty waiting for you for 8 hours. Then they drive for another 4 hours. That's a total of 8 hours of driving, which is under the 10-hour limit. Great, but their total on-duty time is 4 plus 8 plus 4. That's 16 hours. That is illegal. It violates the 15-hour on-duty rule. A shady company might say yes to this itinerary and just force their driver to do it. A safe, reputable company will tell you, this itinerary is not possible with a single driver. We will need to arrange for a relief driver to take over for the return trip to remain in legal compliance with hours of service regulations. That is the answer you want to hear. It might cost more, but what is the price of safety? When you submit your itinerary, you should always ask, based on our schedule, can you confirm this trip is fully compliant with federal hours of service rules, or will a relief driver be required? This single question will tell you almost everything you need to know about a company's commitment to safety over profit. So let's put it all together into your driver vetting script. When you talk to the charter company, you need to be ready to say the following. For our peace of mind, I need you to confirm a few key safety items about the driver who will be assigned to our trip. Can you please confirm they will have a valid CDL with a passenger endorsement, a current DOT medical certificate, and that your company has verified they have a clean motor vehicle record? Can you also confirm you are enrolled in a DOT-compliant random drug and alcohol testing program? And finally, looking at our proposed itinerary, can you confirm it is fully compliant with hours of service regulations? You're not just chartering a bus. You are hiring a professional transportation company and entrusting them with people's lives. Asking these questions isn't being difficult, it's being responsible. The answers you receive will separate the professional, safety-conscious operators from the fly-by-night risks you must avoid at all costs. But even with a perfect vehicle and a top-tier driver, there's one more layer of protection you need to investigate: the company itself. How do you know if the company behind the bus and the driver is legitimate? How do you verify their insurance, check their official safety rating, and uncover their history of accidents or violations? Because a company with a rotten core will always find a way to cut corners, and you don't want to be on their bus when they do. We're about to pull back the curtain on the bus companies themselves. The first place we look is the official record, the government's black and white file on every single passenger bus company in the United States. This isn't some secret backroom database. It's a public tool, but it's one that 99% of people never even think to check. It's managed by the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, or FMCSA. Think of them as the sheriffs of the interstate, the agency responsible for making sure the 18-wheelers and charter buses barreling down the highway next to you aren't ticking time bombs. Their public database is called the SAFER system, that's SAFER, which stands for Safety and Fitness Electronic Records. And it is your single most powerful weapon in this entire process. To use it, you need one key piece of information: the company's USDOT number, the Department of Transportation number. Every legitimate interstate carrier has one. It's their social security number, their fingerprint. Ask for it up front. If a company hesitates, gets defensive, or refuses to give you their DOT number, hang up the phone. End the email chain. That is a siren, a flashing red light, a deal breaker of the highest order. It means they are either operating illegally or they have something to hide. Once you have that number, you go to the FMCSA SAFER website and plug it in. What comes back is the company's rap sheet. It's the unvarnished truth. The first thing you check is operating status. It must say authorized for passenger. If it says not authorized or out of service, you're done. You've just dodged a massive bullet. But if it's authorized, your investigation has just begun. Now you scroll down to the most important field on the entire page: the safety rating. There are only 3 possibilities and they tell you everything. The best rating is satisfactory. This means the FMCSA has done a full audit, and the company passed. They meet the government's minimum safety standards. The worst rating is unsatisfactory. This is the skull and crossbones. It means the company failed its audit so spectacularly that the government has deemed them an imminent threat to public safety. You would be certifiably insane to book with a company that has an unsatisfactory rating. But the trickiest one, the one that trips people up, is the one in the middle: conditional. A conditional rating means the company failed its safety audit, but not badly enough to be shut down immediately. They are on probation. The government has found serious problems with their maintenance, their driver logs, their drug testing programs, and has given them a chance to fix them. Booking with a conditional company is a massive gamble. You're betting that they've cleaned up their act since the government last checked. You're betting that the specific bus and driver they assign to your trip won't be the ones that still have problems. It's a risk you do not need to take. With thousands of carriers rated satisfactory, there is zero reason to roll the dice on one that's on federal probation. But we can go deeper. The safety rating is the big picture. Now let's look at the details. Find the inspections table. This shows you how many times a company's vehicles and drivers have been pulled over for random roadside inspections in the last 24 months. And next to that, you'll see the most telling statistic of all, the out-of-service or OS percentage. This number is pure gold. It tells you the percentage of times that, during a random inspection, the inspector found a violation so severe that the bus or the driver was immediately declared illegal to operate and was put out of service right there on the spot. Let me put that in perspective. The national average for vehicle OOS is around 21%. For drivers, it's about 6%. If the company you're looking at has percentages significantly higher than that, say a 35% vehicle OS rate, it means that more than a third of the time their buses get inspected, they are found to be mechanically unsafe to be on the road. That could be bad brakes, bald tires, a cracked frame. This isn't just a number. It's a direct measure of the company's sloppiness and their disregard for maintenance. It's a crystal ball that tells you the likelihood that your trip could be delayed for hours on the side of a highway, or worse. Finally, look at the crashes section. It will show you the number of reported accidents in the last 24 months, broken down by fatal, injury, and tow away. Now, a single crash doesn't necessarily mean a company is bad. Accidents happen, but what you are looking for are patterns. A company with 0 crashes is great. A company with 1 tow-away crash in 2 years? Probably fine. But a company with multiple injury crashes? Or God forbid, more than 1 fatal crash? That is a pattern of failure. That is a culture problem. And you need to run the other way. The government database gives you the hard, cold facts. But it doesn't tell the whole story. It doesn't tell you if the drivers are rude, if the buses are filthy, or if the air conditioning is always broken. For that, we have to move from the federal record to the court of public opinion. We need to read the reviews. But you have to read them like a detective. Don't just look at the star rating. A company can easily buy fake 5-star reviews to pad their score. And a single 1-star review could just be from one unreasonable client. The real intelligence is in the middle, in the 2, 3, and 4-star reviews. And you are not looking for single anecdotes. You are looking for repeating patterns. Scroll through the reviews on Google, Yelp, and especially the Better Business Bureau. Is every other negative review mentioning the same problem? The bus showed up 45 minutes late. The driver was on his phone the whole time. The bathroom was disgusting. The bus broke down and we were stranded. One person saying this is a complaint. 10 people saying this over the course of a year is a business model. It tells you exactly where the company cuts corners. Pay attention to the dates. Is there a flood of glowing 5-star reviews all posted within the same week, followed by months of silence? Those are probably fake. Are all the good reviews from 3 years ago, and all the recent ones are negative? That's a classic sign of a once good company that's now in a nosedive, likely under new, cheaper management. And look at how the company responds to negative reviews. Do they ignore them? That shows they don't care. Do they respond with angry, defensive, cookie-cutter replies that blame the customer? That shows a lack of professionalism. A good company will respond to a negative review with a specific, apologetic, and constructive message. They'll say, "We are so sorry this happened. This is not our standard. I've looked into this specific incident with driver John Doe on May 15th, and we are taking steps to ensure it doesn't happen again." That's a company that cares about its reputation and its service. So you've checked the government records. You've analyzed the public reviews. Now it's time for the final and most crucial intelligence gathering step. You pick up the phone. You're not calling to book. You're calling to interrogate. Politely, of course. You're going to perform a simple test to gauge their transparency and professionalism. You ask them 2 simple questions. First, I was just looking at your FMCSA safety record. Can you tell me about your company's safety program? A great company will light up. They'll be proud to talk about it. They'll say, "Absolutely. We have a satisfactory rating. Our drivers go through 80 hours of training, we have continuous safety meetings, and we use telematics to monitor driving performance." They will sell you on their safety because it's their biggest asset. A shady company will do the opposite. They'll get flustered. They'll get defensive. You'll hear them stammer, all of our buses are." You know they're inspected. Or they'll say, "We don't really discuss those internal matters." That evasion tells you everything you need to know. Second question. Could you provide me with a reference from a client similar to me? Perhaps a school, a church, or another corporate group you've worked with in the last 6 months. Again, a reputable company will have these ready to go. They'll be happy to connect you with a satisfied customer. A bad company will balk. They'll say it's against their privacy policy. They'll make excuses. Why? Because they don't have any happy customers to refer you to. This three-pronged attack, the federal data, the public reviews, and the direct phone call, gives you a complete 360-degree view of the company you're about to trust with your group's safety. The government report is the skeleton, the hard facts. The online reviews are the body, the real-world experiences. And that phone call is the soul, the character and culture of the company. Neglect any one of these and you're flying blind. But once you've done this diligence and you've found a company that's safe, reliable, and reputable, you're ready to sign on the dotted line and hand over your money. But hold on. That piece of paper they send you, the contract? It's a minefield of hidden fees, tricky clauses, and escape hatches designed to protect them, not you. What happens if they cancel? What are you actually agreeing to? Next, we're going to dissect the charter bus contract line by line. Let's pull out the magnifying glass. The first thing you'll see is a section usually titled Payment and Cancellation Policy. This isn't just about when your money is due. It's about how much of it you'll never see again if your plans change. Every company has a tiered system. It might look something like this. Cancel 90 days out, you lose your deposit. Cancel 60 days out, you lose 50%. Cancel within 30 days, you lose everything. You need to read this and understand it because life happens. But here's the kicker, the part everyone misses. Look for the clause that details their right to cancel. What happens if the bus company cancels on you? You'd assume you get a full refund, right? Not always. Some contracts have language that allows them to cancel for operational reasons, and their only obligation is to return your deposit. That's it. No help finding a new bus, no compensation for your ruined plans. Imagine it's the week of your cross-country family reunion, and they cancel. You get your money back, but now every other bus company is booked solid or charging triple the price. You're stranded. A good contract will state that if they cancel for a non-emergency reason, they are responsible for finding you a comparable replacement at no extra cost. If that language isn't there, you need to ask for it to be added. This is non-negotiable. Next, let's hunt for the section on itinerary and overages. This is where hidden costs breed. You'll see your agreed-upon pickup times, locations, and drop-offs. It looks simple, but look for the phrase garage to garage or portal to portal. This is one of the biggest gotchas in the industry. It means your billing clock doesn't start when the bus picks you up. It starts the second the bus leaves its home garage, and it doesn't stop until it's parked back there at the end of the night. Let's do the math. Say their garage is an hour away from your pickup spot, and an hour away from your final drop-off. You booked the bus for an 8-hour day trip. In your mind, you're paying for 8 hours. But with the garage-to-garage policy, you're actually paying for 10 hours. That's a 25% price increase hidden in 3 little words. You must clarify this. Ask them, is the quoted price based on our service hours or is it garage to garage? Get the answer in writing. This same section will mention overtime. The rate is usually 1.5 times the normal hourly rate, and it can kick in the minute you go over your scheduled time. But here's what's more important. Department of Transportation, or DOT, regulations. A driver can only be on duty for a certain number of hours, and can only drive for a certain number of hours within that duty day. In the US, a driver can't drive more than 10 hours following 8 consecutive hours off duty. They also can't drive after having been on duty for 15 hours. Why does this matter to you? Because if your itinerary pushes these limits, the company is legally required to use a second driver. This is called a relief driver. And guess who pays for that second driver? You do. It can nearly double the cost of your charter. A shady company won't mention this up front. They'll let you design a grueling itinerary, have you sign the contract, and then a week before your trip, they'll hit you with the news. You need a second driver, and that'll be another $2,000, please. A good company will see your proposed itinerary, flag the potential for a DOT violation, and work with you to either adjust the schedule or budget for a relief driver from the very beginning. Scrutinize your timeline. If your trip involves more than 10 hours of driving or a 15-hour day from start to finish, you need to have the DOT conversation immediately. Now for the big one, The clause that has become a nightmare for so many people over the past few years. Force majeure. It sounds fancy, but it's Latin for superior force. We often call it an act of God clause. This covers unforeseeable circumstances that prevent the contract from being fulfilled. Think hurricanes, blizzards, floods, riots, and yes, pandemics. This clause essentially frees both parties from liability. Here's the danger. A poorly written force majeure clause will simply say that in such an event, the contract is void and all payments are non-refundable. You read that right. A hurricane is headed for your destination, the trip is obviously canceled, and the company keeps all of your money. They don't have to provide the service and you don't get a refund. It is absolutely critical that you understand this section. A fair contract will specify what happens. The best case scenario is a full refund. A more common and still acceptable compromise is that all monies paid will be converted into a credit for future travel, valid for at least 1 year. If the contract says all payments are non-refundable, with no mention of credit or rebooking, that is a giant glowing red flag. You are assuming all the risk. Beyond these big three, let's do a rapid-fire round of other clauses to watch for. Look for a subcontracting clause. This gives the company the right to hire another bus company to fulfill your trip. They're basically acting as a broker. You did all your research on Company A, but on the day of your trip, a bus from Company Z, a company you've never heard of, shows up. You need to know if this is a possibility. Check the liability section. It's going to be full of legalese, but you're looking for what they are and are not responsible for. Most will state they are not responsible for items left on the bus. That's standard, but they should be responsible for mechanical breakdowns. The contract should state their duty to find a replacement vehicle in a timely manner if the bus breaks down. If it just says they'll give you a prorated refund, that's not good enough. A refund doesn't help you when you're stuck on the side of I-95 with 50 anxious people. Find the fuel surcharge clause. With gas prices fluctuating, many companies have added this. It allows them to add a fee to your final bill if fuel prices jump between the time you book and the time of your trip. This is understandable, but it should be capped. The clause should clearly state how the surcharge is calculated, and you can even ask to negotiate a not-to-exceed percentage. Finally, look for the cleaning and damage policy. Of course, you're responsible if someone in your group damages the bus. But some policies have outrageous, predetermined fees for small things. A $300 fee for excessive trash, or a $500 fee for any liquid spilled on the carpet. These should be reasonable and based on actual cleaning or repair costs, not arbitrary penalties. So what do you do when you find these problematic clauses? You don't just have to accept them. A contract is a negotiation. You have the power to ask for changes before you sign. It's called a contract addendum or amendment. Politely email your sales rep and say, "I've reviewed the contract, and I'd like to propose a few clarifications." Use specific language. Regarding the force majeure clause, can we add language specifying that funds will be converted to a future travel credit? Or, to clarify the pricing, can we add a line stating the total cost will not exceed X amount, inclusive of any fuel surcharges? The company's response will tell you everything you need to know about them. A great company will be transparent and willing to work with you to create a fair agreement. A bad company will get defensive and tell you their contract is standard and non-negotiable. If they say that, thank them for their time and walk away. A company that is inflexible and difficult before they have your money will be an absolute nightmare to deal with after they have it. Read the contract. Read it again. Have a friend or family member read it. Don't be intimidated by the dense legal text. Your entire trip, your money, and your peace of mind are all contained in those pages. Signing that document is the final step in locking in your transportation. Once that ink is dry, you're committed. Okay, you've navigated the quotes, you've vetted the companies, and you've just signed a fair, well-understood contract. The deposit is paid. The bus is officially booked. You can finally relax, right? Not quite. The day of the trip is where the rubber literally meets the road. All the planning in the world means nothing if the execution is flawed. What are the 5 things you absolutely must do the moment you see your bus? How should you greet the driver to set the tone for a perfect day? And what is the single most common mistake that can derail your trip before you even leave the parking lot? We're covering all of that in our final part. The day is here. The bus crests the hill, a gleaming behemoth of potential, and pulls into your designated pickup spot. This is the moment of truth, and this is where that single most common mistake happens. People get so swept up in the excitement, the chaos of getting everyone organized, that they skip the single most important 2-minute task of the entire day, the walk around. Before a single person steps on board, you, the group leader, need to do a quick inspection. You're not a mechanic, but you have eyes. Look at the tires. Do they look properly inflated? Is there any obvious severe damage? Look at the body of the bus. Does it match the pictures you were promised? A few scuffs are normal, but if you were promised a 2023 luxury coach and a rust bucket from 1998 shows up, this is your only chance to address it. Peek inside. Is it clean? Does it smell fresh? This isn't about being picky. It's about verification. You signed a contract for a specific level of service and quality. This 2-minute walk around ensures you're getting what you paid for and prevents any potential disputes about pre-existing damage later. Now, for the most critical interaction, meeting your driver. This person isn't just a chauffeur. They are the captain of your ship, your navigator, your on-the-ground concierge for the entire trip. How you start this relationship will set the tone for everything. As they step out, walk up with a smile, extend your hand, and greet them by name. You should have their name from the company beforehand. Hi David, I'm Alex, the group leader. It's great to meet you. Thanks so much for being here. This simple act of respect is a game changer. And here's the pro move. Have a small welcome aboard kit ready for them. It doesn't have to be extravagant. A couple bottles of water, some snacks, maybe a $5 gift card to a coffee shop. Hand it to them and say, just a little something to say thanks in advance for getting us there and back safely. In that moment, you cease to be just another client. You become a partner, a human being who values their work. This small gesture builds an incredible amount of goodwill that can pay dividends if you hit any bumps in the road later. After that, take 60 seconds to confirm the plan. Don't read them the entire itinerary. Just say, just wanted to quickly confirm. Our first stop is the museum on Elm Street, and we're aiming for a 10:30 arrival, correct? This shows you're organized and aligned, not that you're micromanaging. Once the driver is set, it's time to brief your own crew. Before the stampede to claim the best seats begins, gather everyone for a 2-minute pre-boarding huddle. This is non-negotiable. Lay down the 3 golden rules of bus travel. Rule number 1: time. Emphasize that the departure times on the itinerary are not suggestions. Say it clearly. We run on bus time. If the departure time is 2:15, that means wheels are turning at 2:15, not that we start boarding at 2:15. Please respect everyone's time by being punctual. Rule number 2: respect the rig. This is your home on wheels. Keep it clean. Use the trash receptacles. No feet on the seats, no sharp objects on the upholstery. Remind them that you, as the charterer, are on the hook for any excessive cleaning fees or damage costs, and those will be passed down. Rule number 3: the driver is captain. Their word is law, especially when it comes to safety. No distracting them while the bus is in motion. All major questions, concerns, or schedule changes must go through you, the group leader. You are the sole point of contact. This prevents the driver from being bombarded by 50 different people with 50 different requests. Once you're on the road, your job shifts to trip management. At your first stop, the luggage bay doors will swing open. Don't let it become a free-for-all. Have a system. Announce to your group, folks, please claim your bag and then step away from the bus to make room for others. When it comes to the onboard bathroom, a little humor goes a long way. Make an announcement. A quick word on our lavatory facilities. It is a marvel of modern engineering, designed for strategic emergency use. Please do your best to keep it clean for the next person. It's a team effort. And the most important ritual of all, the head count. Every single time you leave a location, from a 5-minute photo op to a 2-hour lunch break, you must count every single person on that bus. No exceptions. Don't just scan and assume everyone's there. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. All the way to the end. It takes 30 seconds, and it prevents the absolute nightmare scenario of leaving someone behind in a different city. Just tell your group, I will be doing a head count before we pull out of any stop. Please be patient. It's for everyone's safety. But what happens when things go wrong? Because sometimes they do. A tire blows. The air conditioning gives out in the desert. You get stuck in a 6-hour traffic jam. This is where a great group leader shines. First, do not panic. Your group will take its cues from you. If you're calm, they'll be calm. Second, communicate with your driver. They are your first and best source of information. Approach them calmly and ask, what's the situation? What's the plan from dispatch? How can I help you? Third, communicate with your group. Be transparent but reassuring. Alright everyone, it looks like we have a mechanical issue. The driver is already on the phone with the company, and they're working on a solution. We should have an update in the next 15 minutes. For now, just sit tight. People can handle bad news. They can't handle being left in the dark. Finally, communicate with the charter company. Call your representative, inform them of the situation, and reference your contract. A reputable company will have contingency plans, like sending a replacement bus. This is the moment you'll be glad you didn't choose the cheapest option. And now we've reached our final destination. The trip was a success. The journey is over. But your job isn't quite done. We need to talk about the final farewell and specifically the tip. This is the #1 source of awkwardness and confusion at the end of a charter trip. Let's demystify it right now. The industry standard gratuity for a charter bus driver is between 15 and 20% of the total charter cost. Let me repeat that, of the total charter cost, not just a portion of it. So if your one-day trip costs $2,000, a standard tip would be between $300 and $400. For multi-day trips, you can also think of it as $5 to $7 per passenger per day. Collect this from your group in advance so you're not scrambling for cash at the end. When you give it to the driver, put it in an envelope. Don't just hand them a wad of cash. Find a quiet moment as you're getting off the bus, shake their hand, look them in the eye and say, "David, on behalf of our entire group, thank you for an incredible trip. You were fantastic." It's a sign of respect for a job well done. Finally, before that last person steps off the bus, make one final loud, clear announcement. Everyone, this is the final stop. Please check the overhead bins, check under your seat, check the seatback pocket in front of you. Look for phones, wallets, jackets, and children. Anything left on this bus becomes a permanent part of its collection. Then, you and the driver should do one last walkthrough together. This protects both of you. You're confirming no one left anything, and you're confirming that the bus is being returned in good condition, preventing any surprise cleaning or damage fees from showing up on your invoice next week. And that's it. From that first exploratory phone call to that final grateful handshake, you have navigated the entire world of chartering a bus. You are now more prepared, more knowledgeable, and more confident than 99% of people who undertake this task. You're not just a passenger anymore. You're the architect of an experience, a leader who understands that the journey itself is just as important as the destination. You've learned that chartering a bus isn't just about moving people from one point to another. It's about creating a shared space, a rolling community where memories are made, friendships are forged, and adventures begin. If this ultimate guide has provided you with massive value, do us a favor and hit that like button. Tells us we're on the right track. Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. And please share this series with anyone you know who is planning a wedding, a team outing, a family reunion, or any group trip. You could save them a world of headache. And finally, tell us your own bus charter stories, the good, the bad, and the hilarious, in the comments below. We read every single one. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Now go plan something amazing.